Hillary Clinton continuing her "What Happened" book tour as she does new claims that she and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, aren't speaking, and he was heartsick over the book.
Over the book, not that they're not speaking. It's all in the soon-to-be-released book called All Out War: The Plot to Destroy Trump.
All right, the author, Ed Klein, joins us right now. All right, Ed, we're about to talk about, we're going to talk about the relationship of Bill and Hillary regarding the publication of this book. But first, what are your sources?
What are my sources? I've got sources both with Bill and his inner circle and also with Hillary. I've been using these sources for 10 or 12 years already, so they've always proved correct.
Where's the tension?
The tension is that, listen, these two have been in the past not talking, like with the Monica Lewinsky scandal, but I think this time it's more important. And as I say in this new book, All Out War, he went to her a month before the election and said, look, I've done inner polling, my own polling, and it shows that you are losing this election. She said, you're nuts. Everybody tells me I'm winning. He said, you're not polling, number one. They stopped polling.
True.
And number two, you haven't spent any time in the Rust Belt states. And she said, you know, you don't understand modern data collection techniques, Bill. You're really out of touch. And basically, she called him an old fool. And she didn't listen to him. And then when she wrote the book, she gave him 2 boxes full of these manuscripts, and he took a red pencil to it and tried to edit the book, and she would have nothing to do with it. And he told her she looked angry and out of touch, and she wouldn't listen to him.
We asked her time and time again to come on our show, and she refused to do it. And some of her people, some of the people that have worked for her for a long time that I'm friends with, have said that was one of her biggest mistakes, because we have a lot of independents that watch our show, and she could have gotten some of those votes. Now, I've heard they don't live together. What's the latest with them?
They haven't lived together for a long time. Once in a while, they got together for photo ops and things like that, but he spends almost half his time down in his library
He's got an apartment on the last floor, right?
He's got a penthouse apartment in Little Rock. He has parties there often. She doesn't know what his personal life is, and they actually haven't talked about their personal lives, but they've been on the phone together for years and years talking about politics. But now that she's lost, it looks to me like the Clinton dynasty is over, and they don't have much to talk about anymore.
Well, it looks like he was right, and her campaign team, which was the most expensive ever assembled in world history, they blew it.
You know, Charlie Rose once called Bill Clinton the greatest political animal of our time, and he is.
Right.
He really is. He's brilliant, and she would not listen to him.
Harvey Weinstein, talk about this relationship and the disingenuousness that I think I picked up 2 days ago when she finally spoke about it 5 days into one of the biggest scandals I can remember.
Now, the Clintons were very close, as you know, to Harvey Weinstein. He gave her tons and tons of money. Bill Clinton hung out with Harvey in Hollywood with all the girls and so forth. They knew about this, as did almost everybody, by the way, in Hollywood. I knew about Harvey Weinstein years ago. I mean, it was not a secret. And it certainly wasn't a secret to the Clintons.
Well, one of the things Mrs. Clinton said was, of course, I'll return the money, but I can't, there's nobody to return the money to there.
Yeah, well, you know, she could take the money and give it to...
the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. right, where it always goes anyway, right?
What has happened to the Clinton Foundation since the election?
Nobody's donating to it anymore. Why should they?
No influence.
When they were possibly going back to the White House and could do FCC and FDA and all these regulatory things for people, tons and tons of money flew into the Clinton Foundation. Now there's no reason for it.
Is it true that he threw her book in the trash can?
Yes. When she said, you know, you're an old fool, you don't know what you're talking about, he took these boxes of manuscripts and he threw them in the trash.
Well, to me, that isn't exactly the pillow talk you're used to between couples.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Ed Klein, we'll look forward to your book coming out in a couple of weeks.
We did reach out to her campaign. Oh, sorry, we're going to talk about the book, but we did reach out to her campaign, and they declined a comment. But congratulations on the new book.
Thank you very much.
When does it come out?
October 30th.
October 30th.
And it's
So we can pre-order it now.
on Amazon right now.
Okay, good
What's the name?
It's called All Out War: The Plot to Destroy Trump.
All right.
There you go.
I didn't even pick that up. It seems to be going so smoothly. All right.